What if the whole prop trading game just had different rules? Well, today we're going to deconstruct the model from a firm called Plutus Trade Base. We're going to use their own promotional stuff to break down exactly what they're promising traders and, what that might mean for the entire industry.
So, how does a firm like this even get your attention? Well, they start with a question that really gets to the heart of what frustrates so many traders. They ask, are you tired of prop firms with impossible profit targets and strict rules? Right away, they're setting themselves up as the solution to what they see as these common headaches in the funding world.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at the big problem they claim to be solving. Then, we'll dive into their two main plans, something called the Lightning Fast Track and the Six-Figure Adventure. And finally, we'll pull it all together by looking at their promises on flexibility and, of course, the profit share.
All right, first up, the prop firm problem. Let's really dig into the specific challenges in the industry that Plutus Trade Base says, hey, we were built to fix this. And this is their whole identity, really, all in one little phrase, designed by traders for traders. Now that's not just some catchy tagline, right? It's a strategic way to build an instant connection. The message is pretty clear. Hey, we're not some out-of-touch corporation. We've been right where you are, in the trading trenches, and we built this thing from the ground up. So let's move on and see how they actually put that for traders idea into action with their first big offering, the Lightning Fast Track. This is supposedly their answer for any trader who just wants to get funded and fast.
So what's the first thing you see that just pops right off the page? It's this number, 3%. They're calling it an incredibly low 3% profit target. Now think about it. In an industry we are often looking at targets of 8%, maybe even 10%, this is a pretty bold claim. The whole idea here is that the finish line is just way, way closer.
And how are you supposed to get to that low target? Well, with this, 100-to-1 leverage. Now, we all know high leverage can be a double-edged sword, right? It can magnify your wins, but also your losses. But the way they frame it is as this really powerful tool, giving you the kind of buying power you'd need to potentially hit that 3% goal a whole lot faster. And this really drives home their whole claim of not being so restrictive. They're telling you straight up you can trade the news and use DCA strategies. I mean, those are two things that are often a huge no-no at other firms. And by adding that little phrase without any stress, they're not just selling you a feature, they're trying to sell you peace of mind.
All right, let's switch gears a bit. We're going from speed to pure scale with Section 3, the Six-Figure Adventure. This is their big, high-capital challenge, and it's aimed right at traders who are, as their material says, looking for big numbers.
And yeah, they definitely lead with a big number, $500,000. The source calls it a massive 500K challenge. I mean, that's a number that's designed to grab your attention, to really capture the imagination of ambitious traders. The underlying promise is simple. With more capital, you have the potential for some seriously life-changing profits.
Okay, now this might be the boldest claim they make. Their material talks about the potential for a 100% profit share. I mean, just think about that for a second. You get to keep every single dollar of profit you make. That is an incredibly powerful incentive, and it's really a cornerstone of why this high capital plan is so appealing. Okay, so for our last section, let's zoom in on those key terms that are supposed to apply across the board: flexibility and payouts. How do these promises actually work, at least according to what they've put out there?
So that 100% payout promise, how does it really work? Well, the source clarifies that the profit share actually starts at 70%, and from there it can scale all the way up to 100%. So it seems like there's a path, probably based on performance, to keeping everything you earn. As they put it, the goal is to make sure you keep the lion's share right from the get-go.
Another piece of this whole flexibility puzzle is flexible drawdown limits. Now, here's the thing. The source doesn't really define what flexible means, and that's a pretty critical detail, right? Is it a static limit? Is it a trailing one? That's a huge question. But what is clear is that they're marketing it as a universal benefit, something designed to give traders a bit more breathing room.
This table really brings it all together, doesn't it? It presents a really clear choice for traders. You've got the Lightning plan over here, all about speed with that low 3% target, and on the other side, the Adventure plan, built for size with that $500,000 challenge. But the one thing they claim is constant across both, that's 70% to 100% profit share.
So when you put all these pieces together, what's the big picture they're trying to paint? You've got the low targets, the high leverage, the relaxed rules, the generous profit share. Every single element is designed to build toward one single message.
that Plutus Trade Base is the ultimate platform to launch your professional trading career. And that leaves us with a pretty big question for the whole industry. With this focus on speed, flexibility, and these really high payouts, is this kind of trader-first model the future of funding? I guess ultimately the market's going to decide that one. Thanks for joining me for this breakdown.